Welcome to CPAC Now, America UnCanceled. And I am so thrilled to have my next guest with me. She is such a dear friend, someone who's just a fighter on the front lines. And a little bird told me that she's in charge of the South Carolina primary coming up soon. Laura Trump, how are you, my dear?
I'm awesome. Yes, we have just a couple of primary caucuses to win, and then I hope that we can solidify Donald Trump as the Republican nominee. So we're all working hard.
I think it's already been solidified. You look at these polls. We saw what happened in my favorite, Nevada. Okay,
Oh my
this
gosh.
primary, where literally none of the above candidate at 63% beat out Nikki Haley at 30%. I mean, don't you think that's a sign?
I think the people have spoken, Mercy. I think they're very clearly saying it is not Nikki Haley that we want to represent us on the Republican ticket. It's Donald Trump. Look at Iowa. Look at that incredible win he had in Iowa. Look at New Hampshire. And even though there was this strategy to have Democrats go out and vote for Nikki Haley, if there was ever a state she possibly could have won, it was New Hampshire. And obviously that didn't happen. And then look at Nevada. Yes. This is very clear at this point that I think everyone in the Republican Party, and honestly, I would say that anyone who cares about the future of this country wants Donald J. Trump to be their nominee for president. And I believe that we are going to see a historic win for him on November 5th of this year, because honestly, you can't look around and not see what's going on in this country. Things are going the wrong way in every category you can possibly think of. People are feeling the negative impacts of Joe Biden as president. And they remember that it wasn't that long ago where things were 180 degrees in the other direction. Life was working. We had a great and booming economy. People were back to work. We had manufacturing coming back to this country, historic trade deals, historic peace agreements, and it feels like it's all falling apart. So, yeah, I think if there was ever a sign, it's time to hang up her hat for Nikki Haley. Nevada was that sign.
What do you think is keeping her in the race? I mean, we saw in New Hampshire, for example, it was Democrats and independents that really, switched over to vote for her in that primary. South Carolina, President Trump is up there. I think it's like 51% to 19%. I mean, you look at the Super Tuesday numbers. President Trump dominates Nikki Haley with massive leads in every of these Super Tuesday states. I mean, we're talking about a waste of money, and it's truly just that small faction of the Never Trumpers that are backing her up. What's keeping her in the race?
Well, that's a great question. And honestly, I would like to ask her, because at this point, it kind of feels like what she's doing is ultimately detrimental to the future of the United States. Look, we need to ensure that there is no question that Donald Trump is reelected this year. And as far as I'm concerned, if you are a conservative, if you're someone who loves America, we know this is the guy. We need to galvanize all of our support, Mercedes, behind him at this point. And the fact that Nikki Haley is hanging in there is still, I guess, trying to raise money to do so. Someone is funding her campaign. It just makes no sense at this point. We need to get our eye on the prize and the target is Joe Biden. The target is getting him out of the White House and ensuring that we get our country back, that we, the people, get our country back, and that we don't see the destruction that we've seen over the past 3 years continue. So it really feels like a bit of a selfish move, honestly, the fact that she's staying in this. Obviously, there's someone who's promised her that they'll keep funding her, but it's time. It's time to say, let's all get behind Donald Trump, the obvious and eventual Republican nominee. Let's support him and let's go win it in a huge way on November 5th.
Can I tell you what really bothers me about her? What bothers me about her, first of all, President Trump gave her an incredible opportunity to serve as a UN representative here in the United States. But then on top of that, she does not in any way criticize the Department of Justice and these overzealous prosecutors that have gone after your father-in-law day in and day out. We've seen the weaponization of the Department of Justice going after President Donald Trump and his staffers. Yet she is literally saying, well, it's a legal process, so I'm going to wait here in line. I got to tell you, Laura, it's one of my it makes me so angry that she does not address this important issue of the weaponization of the Department of Justice, of our federal government, as a focused and really have been coordinating with the Biden administration to take down your father-in-law. Your thoughts?
Yeah, 100% right. If you're a person who thinks that you're going to lead this country, yet you're not calling out something so obvious and so detrimental to the future of this country, look, we cannot allow these things to stand. You cannot win elections via a Department of Justice. You cannot win elections this way. You need to let the people of this country vote. And it's pretty clear that this has been election interference since the very beginning, since the very first indictment. The goal was obvious. The goal was to ensure that Donald Trump never stepped foot again in the White House as president of the United States. It really has never had anything to do with any of the accusations against him. And the fact that you have a person who claims to want to be president of the United States who is unable to call out how blatantly wrong that is, how undemocratic that is, how un-American that is. I mean, that right there disqualifies her, I believe, for a lot of people as even being considered to be president of the United States. It's wrong on every level. And I'll tell you what, Mercy, if we go down a path like this as America and we don't rectify it and we don't say, hey, this is wrong, we can't do this, we're going to lose our country. I mean, this is third world communist tactics on full display here. That's exactly what you're seeing against Donald Trump. You've got to have people able to call it out. You've got to have people stand up against it. And it is really outrageous that Nikki Haley is not able to do that.
And it's why the CPAC theme is where globalism goes to die, because that is exactly what the MAGA movement is trying to do, what the grassroots activists are trying to do. They want to be that strong voice alongside with Donald Trump to stop these globalists, to stop these communists that are literally ruining not only our nation, but our globe. I like the fact that Donald Trump has made a decision that he has just pivoted towards a general election message, pointing out Joe Biden and basically saying, look, I'm ready to debate. He probably won't even debate me. We're looking at these poll numbers, and it's really impressive to watch President Trump dominating in the issues that matter, on the economy, on immigration, on keeping America safe, as being a proven leader. I mean, I got to tell you, those Democrats, especially in the political shop, they must be freaking out right now with Sleepy Joe.
Oh, I believe they're in full blown panic mode. You've seen that in some of these key